What's up, everybody? I'm Dave Miranda, and this is episode 98 of Just Give Me 5. I hope you guys are doing great, continue to be amazing. We got a really awesome show lined up for you today. But shout out to my boy Daryl, throwing his 4th annual Softball for a Cause Holiday Edition. The first one's taking place Saturday, November 12th, and it's going to be a homeless care package drive from 1 to 5 p.m. Then he's got one Saturday, December 10th, and that's going to be a toy drive from 1 to 5 p.m. They're all taking place at Kleiman Park in Mesa, and right now they're looking for teams, sponsors, donations, volunteers, food vendors, and food trucks. So if you're interested, hit them up at 480-332-3492. If you guys caught episode 97, you saw we had none other than my man Ohm, and let me tell you, Ohm hit me the day after when he saw the episode and was like, Miranda, I haven't done an interview in like probably 20 years, man, and for me to finally do one and it be on Just Give Me 5 is just such an honor, man. It's just I'm just so grateful. And he was just like, truly appreciative of the whole opportunity, as were we, because Ohm is definitely a pioneer in the hip hop scene out here. I mean, I met Ohm, I want to say in 2003, and to this day, man, he's just always been solid. Always been a good individual, man, and a very talented MC, and we were just so happy to have him on the show, and then, him talking about, the Attitude Promotions days, and hosting at the Mason Jar. I mean, that stuff's just legendary out here, man. If you're from Phoenix, then you know what I'm talking about. So, man, shout out to you, my brother, and thank you so much for being a part of our platform. All right. But today's guest is another individual who has been a pioneer in the Arizona hip-hop scene, DJ scene, and promotion scene. We're going to talk about how he became a DJ. We're also going to talk about how he helped form Universatile Music, otherwise known as UM. We're going to talk about how he got affiliated with the legendary Blunt Club, some awesome tour memories, and so much more. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I present to you, Pixter.
What's up, everyone? This is Pixter, and all I'm saying is, just give me 5. Oh man, I was the kid that was recording Yo MTV Raps off a boombox on the TV, yeah, and then listening to it in my bedroom. My parents always had records around the house, and they let me play with them and stuff. And even I got this picture. I'll send it to you. Okay. I was like a little kid, and I'm like got headphones on, and I'm screaming, and I'm hitting the volume, yeah, on the old like 8-track player. Like when I was a kid. I'm old, so right. Back in the day it was 8-track, and so. And then, I got into hip hop. I had some older family friends, yeah, and one of them was like, hey, check this out. And then he gave me like a Boogie Down Productions tape, and then old KRS-One and stuff like that. And then he gave me an Eazy-E tape and stuff like that. And we just I started bumping it. And then I found this record store like a couple of doors down from where my mom would go grocery shopping. And I talked the dude into selling me tapes with explicit lyrics on it. And so, yeah, so I'd like save money from like my lunch money and stuff. And then I would go buy tapes on the weekend when my mom would go grocery shopping and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, they found those tapes eventually, but it's all good. I was just a little kid, so as I got older, some of my homies had turntables and stuff. And I went down a little bad path for a little bit, and I got arrested in high school and ended up on house arrest. Wow. While I was in high school, Yeah. And yeah, that sucked. Yeah. But, I learned from it. But anyway, while I was on house arrest, like my parents let my homie bring the turntables over, and he left them at my crib. Yeah. And so we were all able to, they came by and we were freestyling and DJing and stuff. And right, while I was on house arrest, and okay, that's kind of how I taught myself. I taught myself how to DJ, but I was a rapper before I was a DJ, so.
You were rapping before you did?
Yeah.
What was your rap name?
Pixter.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, I used to like, when I first moved here, I would like rap down on Mill Avenue and stuff with like the supermarket kids and stuff like that. And like, it would be down on like 5th and Mill, you know, like people would just show up and freestyle, and like they were there. They were like the dudes killing it, you know, like Ruckus and Fluid and Brandon B, and we would throw house parties, and they would show up, and Mantis Claw would show up, and then he would scratch while we were DJing and like doing house parties in Tempe before anybody knew who we were, and that's kind of how we linked up with Mantis Claw, and started Morse Code with my boy JY, who moved from Cali, and yeah, me, Mantis Claw, Ruski, R.I.P., you know, Miliano, Cass is in New Mexico now.
And then how'd you come up with the name Pixter?
Like writing graffiti. I did everything, you know. I did it all. Like trying to write graffiti. I was never good at it, you know. Just, you know, but I was an artist, so I just kind of kept with it and stuff. But yeah, and it just stuck. Yeah, I was in Cali, and then I'm actually with my homies. We were DJing and stuff, doing house parties and whatnot. And but we were all playing just like underground and East Coast rap music, and you know, and these parties they want to party and stuff, and we were like, if we're gonna DJ, you're gonna hear our shit. Right. But anyway, I moved out here and I went to culinary school with my homie Ricardo, and he was one of the dudes that were rapping and DJing with us back then. And we went to culinary school, and I got my degree in culinary arts and restaurant management, and I was working in like the kitchens. I worked at the Princess. I worked at the Royal Palms. We were like running the banquet kitchen over there. And I got a funny story actually about that. Is, you know, Al Page? Yeah. He was a banquet server there, and he came in the kitchen, and me and my homies are all like listening to Wu-Tang and like cutting and like serving out the banquets and stuff and chefing it. He's like, "What you know about Wu-Tang?" You know, we're like, "Bro, you don't even know," you know, whatever. And so we would trade. Like he would bring us like drinks on the low, and we would give him food. And he was a banquet server. This is before Hidden House and all that. House, of course. Yeah. But eventually I learned how to make money DJing, and then I just haven't cooked since, except for my wife. She gets all the good shit. So my bro Horo, he was coming to our house parties in Tempe, and he was around when Morse Code started and Drunken Immortals and stuff like that. And he graduated from college and moved to Hawaii, and he was out there in Hawaii for a bit, just kind of mixing it up, doing stuff on, you know, with the homies out there. And then he came back and he was like, "Yo, I want to start a record label and a promotions company. I want to throw shows and do some stuff." And I was like, "All right, you know, like, let's do this." And then so I started during that time I was teaching myself how to do Photoshop, and so I self-taught. And I started making the flyers and stuff like that. They were pretty bad back in the day. We came a long way, 20 years later. Yeah. But yeah, and so anyway, I was doing graphics and stuff, and kind of was like a liaison with the artists and stuff. And he, you know, UM put out records like Brad B, Jawa, Anglo, Il Al, Blow Up Co-op compilation. We put out CDs and stuff when people were still selling CDs, you know? Yeah. And it's funny because we actually got up to when they stopped doing CDs and people were like phasing them out, and Brad B put out Free the Hard Way. That was on UM. And he made it to give it out because he's like, no one's buying CDs anymore, you know, like, but we're going to do this Free the Hard Way, you know? And okay, that's and that was on UM, you know? But yeah, UM, like, you know, like, Horo's been doing it steady 20 years, you know, and it's I've been right there with him, you know, like kind of hands off for a long time, and then now more recently after the pandemic, you know, I stopped being in the club as much and stuff and DJing, and then he was like, "Yo, come work more full time, like, let's do this," you know. And so I took on a more full-time position there, you know. But yeah.
Do you remember the very first show that UM threw?
I think it was the Blow Up Co-op compilation release party. Oh, okay. And then we had Scarab, like Scarab from the Living Legends, and then we had Atmosphere. We did the I think it was Trying to Find a Balance tour or something. I can't remember the tour name. But that was Atmosphere, Merce, and yeah, Mr. Dibbs. Yeah, that was back in the day. We didn't really know what we were doing as much, so we caught a lot of flack, you know, from like other local promoters and stuff like that. And you know, they were kind of like, they actually thought we probably wouldn't last long, you know, because we were like kids and we were like hustling and bringing out, you know, trying to get in the hot shows and stuff like that. And we stayed, we kept with it, and you know, now we're still here today, you know.
Absolutely. And you guys, I mean, you guys had I mean, the run is still going, but it's like, man, you guys brought, you know, I was fortunate enough to have performed at some of these events, and it's like memorable stuff, man, you know. And so, you know, just much love to you guys for that, man. And so, but it's great that you guys are still, you know, still forming, still going strong.
Still doing it. We just had a sold out show on Sunday. Yeah. Steve Lacey down in Tucson. Nice. You know, we just had Mark Rebelay last night. Okay. And you know, we're still doing it. It's interesting because it's like, we, you know, when we first started doing it, we were like just bringing out people that we want, you know, like, you know, and then eventually it got into other things and we're like, oh, okay, you know. And so nowadays, like, we'll bring out some kids and stuff, and like, I'm old, you know, and these kids are like, you know, it's like stuff like 16, 17-year-old kids are into. I'm not really into it, but I can appreciate it. Like, I see the grind, I see the hustle, and I see how they, you know, how they're that's like their high road, you know, to me, or they're like Blackalicious, or they're like.
We're like our parents and uncles now. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like.
Oh, Blunt Club. Woo-wee. There's a lot of story there. I was going to Blunt Club for three or 4 years before I even started, became a part of it. Yeah. And, you know, so I was just a fan, you know. Dumper would have me DJ every once in a while or something, you know. I'd come out and do my thing. And it was different when it first started, because when it first started, it was like poetry and like trip-hoppy kind of like. Kind of open mic stuff. Yeah, it was different. And UM actually brought some acts there to Blunt Club, like before I was even a part of it and stuff. And then we did like Buck 65 and like a couple old anti-con dudes or whatever. Anyway, 3 or 4 years down the road, Dumper and Doug Quick asked me to be a part of it. And I was like, yeah, you know, I'll come through, you know, I'll do it, I'll show up, and never left. I'm still here, man. Like, it was a grind, man, going to all the different venues, and we did it weekly for so long. So it's like, once we stopped doing it weekly, it was kind of like looking back at it like, wow, we did that for like 8 years straight every week, you know, or like 9 years straight every week. And just, yeah, it's pretty wild.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you tour managed some artists as well, right? I believe Tumex was one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like Dumper and Doug would always bring like LA rappers, like Freestyle Fellowship dudes and Visionaries dudes and Shapeshifters and like all kinds of West Coast, all over, East Coast too. But yeah, Tumex and the Shapeshifters and stuff came through, and he was like, yo, I need you to DJ at one of my shows one time, and we hooked up, and I went with them, and then I was like kind of handling business for him while we were there, and he was like, yo, like you should, he's like, yo, I'm gonna teach you how to like tour manage and like book tours and stuff. Yeah. He's like, let's roll. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And so he taught me, and it was cool because I was able to learn how to travel. And later on in my career, when I started traveling solo, like DJing and stuff and electronic music and stuff, I already knew how to do it. I already knew how to grind and get out there and book my shows. And yeah, and so we did, with Tumex, we booked a 50-city US tour on MySpace.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Youngsters don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, we book our own tour. We like me and Tumex, we booked that whole thing, 50 cities, and we went out there, got a van, and we were like all over the U.S. like, and it was crazy. This was before iPhones too, so we were like, we had MapQuest printouts, like it wasn't like it is now, where you got your sprinters and your navigation. Yeah, we were getting lost in Europe with no GPS, no nothing. Like, yeah, it's wild.
And then you were tour managing for Shapeshifters also?
Well, that like I did stuff for like Existerio and like Life Rexall and like, you know, like tours. Like I would go on tours. I would be the DJ, but I would just handle the biz. I would drive. They called me strong arm because I would like strong arm to the next city, you know, and like drive overnight and like. Yeah, it's funny when we had like Drunken Immortals, we had all those like tour buses and stuff that we had. like I would drive those most of the time, you know, and you know, like overnights, you know, fools would just be all passed out in the back, and I would be like, because I didn't drink or anything, you know, so I was just like, it was fun. I learned a lot, and I got to travel, you know, I got to, you know, Tumex took me all over. We did like 3 or 4 Europe tours, went to Greece, went to all over Europe, you know, Spain, you know. Now I just go back there with my wife. I'm like, yo, let me show you this, babe. Let me show you. Like, yeah. Well, now recently I've been messing with beats ever since I got into hip hop. Like I had a little sampler back in the day, you know, I had an MPC, I did that stuff, and like, so I've been making beats about 20 years probably, you know.
Should have hit you.
But I'm still making beats.
Okay.
And I do a lot of producing because the beats helped me when I started getting into like my more DJ career, and I was making remixes and doing edits and doing all kinds of stuff. And you know, I had, I think it was like 25,000 SoundCloud followers or whatever before they took my page down because of like edits and DJ remixes and stuff. That sucked. That was a bad weekend. But yeah, I produce, and so I'm still producing. I actually have a new record out called Mid City Phoenix, Beats Vibe Life, and it's just all beats, like kind of like lo-fi, instrumental, like hip hop beats. And
Where do they find that at?
it's on all streaming platforms like Spotify, you know,
Just
everything. It's on everything. Yeah, Bandcamp. I still have some of my DJ edits and stuff on Bandcamp, so you can like check that out there. But yeah, I'm working on like a lo-fi Latin beat tape right now that I got. It's like 80% done. But I also sell beats to rappers and stuff. Like during the pandemic, I wanted to get a mini bike. I'll shoot you a picture of it. You could put it up there. It's fire. And so I was like, damn, I need to sell some beats because, you know, my wife ain't gonna let me buy this. So it was like, I sold a pack of beats to this homie in China, and he sent me the loot, and then so I'm like selling beats and doing all that. So hit me up if you need beats. Yeah, I also do like mastering and mixing and stuff for a lot of local stuff. Like shouts out to the Beatcast homies, like Anglo and all of them. They, you know, like I try to get that as much as I can. You know, like I'm busy, but like I still get in it and throw the beats down and stuff. You know. Oh man, that feels good. Yeah, I just, you know, I'm real thankful for like the community and like everyone, like all my homies that have my back and my family and stuff, and like they, you know, like it's not been easy being an artist, especially a broke artist, for a long time. You know, you know, it took me a while to figure out how to make money in hip hop, but it's there. You can do it, you know, if you figure it out. And so everyone that just kind of had my back and supported, come out to Blunt Club and, you know, show up, bump my music and be like, yo, I heard that, you know, checking it out, and just homies, you know, like, thank you. Like I appreciate that. All right, everyone, I'm Pixter. Thanks for joining us, and that was my 5.
And there you have it. Man, shout out to my man Pickster. I've known Pickster for a long time, always been a solid individual, incredible DJ, and just an all-around good dude, you know, and everything they've done with UM, you know, like I was telling him, you know, I was fortunate enough to have rocked a few of the shows with Universal Tile Music. Always a good time, you know, it's just, we're very fortunate to have them out here in the scene and providing all of the entertainment that they have through all these years, you know, and everything is done with Blunt Club. You know, it's amazing, man. And, you know, so thank you so much for being a part of our platform, my brother. And I wish you nothing but continued success with everything you got going on now. And make sure you guys following him on social media. And then shout out to my brother, Jimmy Nelson, on that camera. Make sure you guys subscribe to that YouTube channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. The numbers are going up. You know what I'm saying? We're extremely grateful for that. And make sure you hit that bell notification so you get notified on future episodes. All right. Well, this was definitely one for the books. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Until next time, stay tuned, stay blessed, stay healthy. All this damn flu going around right now. And just give me 5, y'all.
Everything you get, you got to work hard. I had to hustle hard.